Hey there, it's Matt from Technovangelist. I am so exhausted, tired, but also happy. My session went earlier today. It went really well. Got lots of good comments. I think everybody enjoyed it. And that means I now have a chance to do the vlog. So yesterday, it was really, you saw me getting up at 4 in the morning. I don't know what time it was for my flight to Norfolk, Virginia. And then I took an Uber out here. It's in a beautiful location. This spot is beautiful. I tried to take this video looking at the beach, but when I do, and of course when you expose for the beach, you can't see me because, well, normally I guess if I were doing this officially, I'd probably bring some lights to light myself, but I'm kind of trying to do this without any of that equipment. And I was just in the dark. So we're in my hotel room instead. I'm looking at the beach and it's lovely. I promise you, it's lovely. And now I'm just taking a few minutes to recover and just get my thoughts back, maybe dump some stuff in my room that I don't need. But before doing my session was about 10:30. Right before that, there was one other session, so I got a chance to see somebody else talk. I got to see Kyle Welch. He's at Eventbrite, I believe. He was talking about using Git more effectively, and I use Git all the time. I use it almost every day, but I would not say I'm a power user. I remember there are specific things I know how to do, and I do that all the time, but venturing outside of those normal tasks, it's always a little bit scary. I don't want to do it on a big repo. I should probably test on a personal repo. But one of the interesting things that he talked about was the idea of committing a lot and then squashing those commits into a single commit. I guess I've always known you could do that. I just never did. And I didn't really see the value of doing it until his discussion of the topic. So I think it could be a really valuable thing to do. I need to look into more about what the commands are, because it's not just git squash. There's the rebase route, there's a few other routes that you can do, and I just need to understand what are the benefits. I didn't get a chance to see all of it because I had to leave so I could make sure I was ready in the right spot and everything for my session, because I wanted to make sure my session went off well. So about my session, I was talking about getting started with AWS Lambda, Google Cloud Functions, and Azure Functions. So I talked about all three in the same session, 45-minute session. I actually took about 46 minutes, so kind of cheated. Also talked a little bit about what's special about each. And this was a really interesting session because in preparing for the session, before I proposed it, I didn't really have a lot of experience. I a lot of experience with Lambda, but I didn't really have much experience with Azure or Google functions, the serverless options on both of those platforms. And I went in thinking one thing, and I came out at the end of preparing with a very different opinion. I didn't expect to enjoy working with Azure quite as much as I did. So that was, really neat. The way Azure works with the Azure function apps, you define this function app, and then within this bucket, this blob or bundle, inside that you define each of the functions. And when you have, let's say you've got 10 applications and each of those applications has 10 functions, you just go into the application and there's the functions for that app and no others. And whereas with Lambda, if you ended up with 10 times 10, so 100 functions, it's just one long list of functions. And it's up to you to come up with a good naming strategy. So the way Azure is doing it with Azure Functions is really quite interesting. And I definitely want to spend more time with it. I definitely want to spend more time with Logic Apps, because Logic Apps is so cool. I really have enjoyed talking about Logic Apps and playing around with it as little as I have, and want to spend more time with Logic Apps. Now, one question that came up, I didn't have an answer for, and looking around, I still don't really have an answer for. I suspect I could see the answer being, both options. So I'm not really sure what the answer is. Basically, with Lambda and with serverless in general, there's this idea of cold start. If your function hasn't been used in a while, it takes a little bit of time for that function to start up. That time is going down a lot. AWS keeps working on improving that time, but still there's some time for this cold start. And the question was, okay, so it's really cheap to run your function. Talks about pricing for each of the three options, three platforms. Do you pay for the cold start time, or do you just start paying when the function is ready to go and it does its thing and it stops? It's a great question, and I have no idea what the answer is to that. So I need to do hopefully some learning, probably not tomorrow or today, but maybe on Monday I can figure out the answer to that. Or maybe if you know, this would be a great opportunity to start a conversation in the comments below. If you know the answer to that, I would love to hear from you, and I would love to find out what that answer is. So put that down there. I read an interesting article. It was Pikes Rules from, who's it, Rob Pike? Somebody had posted this. There were about 6 or 7 rules. And I found it interesting, the first 2 kind of can be seen as generally the same thing. Don't put in speed hacks or tune for speed right away. Get something working. This is talking about programming. Get something working quickly. Whatever you need to do, get it in there quickly, and then measure. Monitor that application, measure that application. How is it? How fast is it? Where are the bottlenecks? And then focus on fixing the bottlenecks that are actually there. Maybe you think that something is going to be a lot worse than it really is. Another part of the code is really slower than you expected, and you won't know that until you actually try it out, measure it, and really understand where the real bottlenecks are. Don't waste a lot of time fixing something that might not actually be a problem. That ugly code might be good enough. So there were some other things in there as well, but those first 2 really resonated with me. So that's it. I'm going to come back tomorrow, hopefully with a lot more stuff from RevolutionConf, where I am here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. If you find this interesting and you want to hear more about what I'm up to, what I'm learning, and hopefully you're going to learn some new things yourself by hearing about what I've learned, then subscribe. Down below, let's see, you're watching this. This is on the, so down there, or is it down? I don't know. It's down in one of these directions. There's a subscribe button. And so click on that subscribe button, and then I believe you have to click a notify button to be notified of new videos, because this is good stuff. You want to be able to see it as soon as it comes out. Be able to share with all your friends. Someday, this is going to be the thing that all your friends talk about. Me. It's crazy. It doesn't sound like it's true, but give it a year. Everybody's going to be talking about me, and you were here at the beginning. It's pretty amazing stuff. Leave a comment below. If you have a question, a comment, about, did I say something stupid in this? If I did, let me know. I'll try to be nice about it. And follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter and I talk about, all sorts of stuff. I've been tweeting photos about sessions at RevolutionConf. And recently I got talked into restarting up my Instagram. So I'm going to try to do more of that too. Of course, I'm Techno Evangelist everywhere. So yeah. Okay, well that's it. It looks like I've got another session I need to run to. So thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.